Welcome back and Merry Christmas again. Never Trumper Jeff Flake has a warning for the president ahead of 2020. Don't get too comfortable. The Arizona Republican says he's certain President Trump will face a third-party challenger, even hinting at a possible Republican mutiny.
I do believe if the president is running for re-election, if he continues on the path that he's on, that's going to leave a huge swath of voters looking for something else.
So you're saying if he is the Republican nominee, again, we're likely to see an independent candidate,
yes,
whether or not it's you.
I think he's inviting that. He's probably inviting a Republican challenge as well, but certainly an independent challenge, yes.
But is this another case of the president's critics underestimating his support? Joining us now is Fox News contributor and a member of the president's Hispanic Advisory Council, Steve Cortes. Merry Christmas. Thanks for joining us on this Christmas morning.
Thank you for having me. Merry Christmas to you and to all the viewers.
Kicking things off, we just listened to Mr. Flake talking about what he thinks will happen in the upcoming election if the president runs again, which he seems to be well on the road towards running in 2020. What does this take? Do you think he will see an independent challenger or a Republican challenger?
Well, I do not think he'll see a Republican challenger. And if he did, quite frankly, I think it would be laughable for somebody in the Republican Party to try to take on this president. Senator Flake is not just never Trump. He's also never right. He talked about Trump being, he said, on this path, as if he's on the wrong path. Well, when I look back at this year of 2017 and I see economic acceleration, Gorsuch on the court, our southern border largely under control, ISIS all but eliminated, what I see is a path to success, a path to victory. And now with these tax cuts done and codified heading into 2018, I think the economy is going to go into liftoff mode. So not only do I think Trump will face any threats within the party, but I think he'll consolidate the party and into the party that we should be, not the party of Jeff Flake. He represents the Republican Party of 2015. I call them the Republicrats because there was really no difference between the Dems and the Republicans. They existed for Washington's benefit, not the American worker. That's changed dramatically now.
Steve, let me put a tweet up here from the president here just yesterday. The fake news refused to talk about how big and how strong our base is. They show fake polls just like they report fake news despite only negative reporting. We are doing well. Nobody is going to beat us. Make America great again. Is it your sense that guys like Jeff Flake, Bob Corker and others have simply underestimated the president's base?
Right. Of course they have, as has the mainstream media, by the way, all along. They certainly did during the election. They have during the presidency. And many people in mainstream media, by the way, these are no longer journalists, unfortunately. Instead, they're an opposition advocacy group of people who are just hell-bent on trying to paint every presidential accomplishment as somehow a problem. But the people, I think, are smart enough to see through that. They certainly did during the election, and I think they do now, and I think they will, by the way, come Trump 2020. They voted primarily, I think, because of economic reasons, because of the economic anxiety. For the last decade, the American worker has been left behind while the 1%, the top 1% of 1% did incredibly well under the leadership of people like Senator Flake, Senator Corker. That's changing now. Productivity surging, wages are up. By all indications, it was a wonderful Christmas shopping season, so Americans are confident, optimistic. They're making more money. They're very happy, I think, regardless of what we see from polling. We know a lot of those polls are inaccurate. They were in 2016. They are now. They're in their pocketbook, in their lives, going to feel more prosperous, safer, more secure, and they're going to thank President Trump for that.
I had a chance to get out on the campaign trail quite a lot and to cover then-candidate Trump's campaigns, and he was drawing in 10,000 people or more at these campaign rallies, and the question was, were they going to show up and vote? This was all speculation, but they did. They showed up and voted, and he's been going out and on this, some might call it a victory tour or a thank you tour, holding all these big rallies, and once again, packing huge rooms. So, in Ohio and Pennsylvania, there on the ground, it was not hard to find Trump voters at the polls. And now he's coming at the end of this year with this list of what he really feels like are strong victories, including most recently tax reform. So we will see what happens as we head into the midterms, and then 2020 will be here before we know it. Steve Cortes, thanks for being here this morning.
Thank you.